Hello, Missouri Mama here. My name is Nina, and today we are going to work on another part of this project. So this tray, I'm going to dust it with some of this multi-chrome powder. This is the green, blue, purple. And I'm going to dust the lid with it really thoroughly. Trying to make sure I get in all those little grooves, spread it around real good. This powder looks stunning with black behind it. Looks really pretty. And this mold is actually like really easy to dust with it. It has a lip, but it doesn't have like a lot of depth to it. So it's real easy to do. And it's real easy to get into the little grooves and stuff. So I'm just using a makeup brush, a really cheap one. I find they work a lot better than paint brushes to dust the powder in. They're a lot softer than paint brushes, so they do a better job. So just going through trying to make sure I don't miss any spots. I have no idea what that purple line on my arm is. I was probably playing with makeup at some point. So just going through, making sure that I didn't miss anything. Being really thorough. So now I think I start on the big container. Nope, still going through. I'm trying to make sure that lip gets good coverage too. I don't know why my camera keeps going a little fuzzy there. Being weird. I guess it's probably having a hard time figuring out what to focus on. So now I'm just kind of shifting stuff so I can work on the actual dish part of this. So here, I was trying to decide if I had to turn it inside out. I think I decided I needed to turn it inside out. So yeah, I turned it inside out, and I'm going to start coating it really good. So I do fast forward through quite a few sections, otherwise the video is extremely long. So, because there's a lot of dusting of pieces, a lot of repeat steps on this one. So I'm going along, just dusting this multi-chrome pigment all over the place, making sure to get a good layer of it so it shows up really nicely. And it sticks to this mold really nicely. Looks really pretty. So throughout this project, I used so much of that little bottle right there. It's crazy. Then I flip it inside out, well, outside, well, right way out. and I'm just covering the base, making sure I didn't make any cracks or anything, and then cleaning up my mess. And then I will get my resin. So here we are with my black pigment paste from DIY Craft. I'm just going to add a little bit of that into my resin. I just scrape it onto the cup. Oh no, I forgot I used the same popsicle stick. On this one. Later I just scrape it on the cup. So here I'm just going to mix it in really good. Try to keep it from having any streaks or any weird spots in the resin. Trying to make sure I scrape it off the sides real good. Scrape the stick real good. All of that to make sure it's mixed properly. So once I have it mixed where it looks like it's mixed good enough, then I'll start pouring. I just kind of keep mixing until I don't see any more streaking. Which can be hard to see in the black. And see there, and I'm going to start pouring it. I'm kind of letting it fall down itself. And then I'll scrape out the little cup. And when I was doing this, I didn't know how much resin it was going to take, so I did mix up more than one of these little cups. I think I did two, and I think that was almost enough with the black. So there I'm just scraping it out as best I can. And then yeah, there's the other cup of resin that I had mixed up. And this one I sped through because it's the exact same process, just add a little pigment off to the side of the cup, mix it in. And this resin was mixed up at the exact same time, and it's the same brand, so I just pour it on top of this one and on into the lid. And it almost filled the lid. It just didn't quite fill up the lip part. to wipe off my popsicle stick so I can reuse it, and then I will take my lighter and just pop any bubbles that popped up. And then here, I needed a little bit more black to finish off that lid, so I mix up just a little bit more black resin. Well, resin with some black pigment. Just a tiny bit more. Add it onto the back of that lid. Put that aside. Now I have a little bit of clear in that little container. I'm gonna add some of this really pretty blue mica that I have. There's no brand or color label on it, so I don't know what it is. I got it from Amazon though. It's really pretty. I'm just gonna mix that in some clear resin. Stirry, stirry. And I'm going to pour this into that little skull mold. I love this little skull mold. It is so cool. The details on it are amazing. So I just pour some in there, and then I think I tap out the mold just to make sure there's no air bubbles. Sorry if you hear my dog snoring. He's loud. Just make sure I have it filled all the way up. Tap the lid, make sure there's no bubbles stuck anywhere on the edges. Pour in a little bit more black. And then some reason I don't have any footage of me pouring the bow part, but it's just clear resin with some chunky white iridescent glitter in it that I pour in the bow. I have no idea where the footage for that went, but I did pour in it because you'll see me demold it in a moment. So here we are, ready to demold everything. This little skull is so cool. I absolutely love the skull. He got such cool details on his face. I tried to drop him. So here's that bow that I don't have the footage of me pouring for some reason, but it's just the white iridescent chunky glitter mix that I got from Amazon. I use a lot. And it did have some sinking, a lot of sinking really, on the glitter. So it didn't turn out quite the way I wanted, but it's still pretty. Still works. I'm going careful because I'm trying not to rip the mold. It does have the deep holes in the bow part. So that's what it looks like. And there's me showing you what I want to do with the skull. I want him to sit on top of the bow. It doesn't quite fit on there, so I'll have to do like some sanding or something to fix that, but that's the plan. And I'm going to demold the lid. And so after I had demolded these and did the other parts, I went to arrange them on the tray mold that I do. I hadn't poured in it yet. I just was arranging them on the tray to figure out how I liked them. I did decide that this needed another layer, so I do pour again, and that is why there's more to this video. So in a moment you'll see I go back and I pour another section of this part, of the dish part, and I show how you can make this a tiered tray, like a layered tray of different trays, sections, with one lid on top. If that makes any sense on what I'm talking about. And in the end, I think it turned out really cool. There's a few adjustments I would make on when I do it again, but overall I think it looks really cool. So that's this part demolded, and I'm going to show you it put together. Well, kind of. That's the lid on it. It has the groove so it stays on, doesn't slide off. And just a bow that just sits on top. Alright, so this is me showing you how I made the other part fit on the inside. So I'm just mixing up some more black resin. All this other, the little skulls and little crystals and flower and filigree thing, those are extras that you'll see me use, or you'll see used later, possibly. Some of the stuff, yes, some of the stuff I don't think I use. But it was all stuff I was considering using. But you do see me make it all in another part of this series. But I'm actually going to pour this into the opposite side of the tray's mold to create like a little section to hold it in place on top of the other section, if I'm making any sense. I might be confusing you. So I just mix it up real good, and then I'm going to pour it into like the pie shaped part of the mold that you see up there in the far corner. So when I was doing this, I didn't realize that half of it was out of frame. So I try to pour them about the same depth. And here I am demolding it. Just taking those pieces out. It doesn't matter if one side's matte or anything, because they're not really to be seen. They're just to help keep the dish where you want it. So here I am going to dust this one again with the same multi-chrome, the green, blue, purple. And it should start going in fast speed for this. Yeah, there it goes. So just dust this whole thing really good again, so it matches the other one that I already did. Man, if I could dust molds that fast, wouldn't that be nice? Then there we go. And then onto pouring some resin. I'm just going to mix some black pigment into it. Just like before, so I'm doing it in fast. I have it sped up because same thing I did earlier. So just mix in the black pigment. So here I'm showing you kind of where I'll put those, and I can't put them in until the resin sets up pretty thick. Here I am mixing up the second batch of resin with black pigment to finish filling the mold. And then I couldn't show you me putting those in because I had to do it when it was like setting up and really thick. So I just set those on the back of it when it was almost cured to where they wouldn't sink all the way in. And all it does is create a lip for it to sit in the other tray. And so I'm taking it out now. It's gonna look just like the other one, same color and everything. Here I show you that they're the same color. That one fits inside the other one. Now it's a little off, so I have to there's a certain like there's a perfect spot where it fits because I did get it a little bit. One of the pieces is a little off where it should be on the back of that one. But if I twist it, there's a certain spot where it fits perfectly. So I did end up doing some sanding on them to make it fit a little bit better. So here I'm going to show you how I decided to back them. I had this material from Amazon. It was supposed to be it said it was felt, like adhesive felt for projects, but it ended up being this velvety material, which is actually better, more useful really, because I can use this for my resin projects. So I'm just taking it and cutting out a approximate piece that will go on the back of these, on the back of the base one, to protect, because I want to put these on a resin tray, but I don't want them to move around and scratch up the tray. So this will protect the object they are sitting on from getting scratched up. So I just cut out an approximate shape that will fit over this, and then I'm going to peel off the paper and stick it on the back here. And I use rubbing alcohol to clean it to make sure there's no fingerprints or oil or anything on there from me touching it. I'm going to rub it down real good to make sure it adheres on there perfectly. It's like that material that they line jewelry boxes and stuff with. That's what this material is. And so here I'm going to take my scissors and trim it even closer to the dish. I can't remember. This one may have been the one I was able to get it really close. I can't remember which one I was able to do that with. This stuff is really sticky. So you can't see what I'm doing apparently. I don't know if you'll be able to see me do the rest of it. Hold on. Alright, so I went through and cut out a lot of what you couldn't see what I was doing on. just trimmed up the edges pretty much. Got it as close to the edge of the resin as I could between scissors and that little razor. If you use a razor blade, please be careful. Be careful with scissors too. And I just go through and trim it up as close as I can to make it look nice and clean. And here you can see the bottom of it looks way better now. And it's super soft, doesn't scratch against the table anymore, like at all. So super nice. And here it is outside in the sunlight. It is looking stunning. I added some resin ruffle and some roses and filigree and another different type of skull and a little rose to the bow, and it's looking amazing. The sunlight hits the rhinestones that I put on all like the quilting. Oh, it's so pretty. The ruffling was a pain to do, but it is so worth it. I absolutely love how it turned out. It's just gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Make sure you let me know down below what you think of this and how do you think it turned out. Do you think it was worth? This was a pain. This one was a pain in the butt. It was definitely a pain. It took a lot of work. Hours and hours and hours. Days and days and days. So let me know what you think. How do you think I did? Do you think it was worth all of the pain that it was? And if you like videos like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.